Hey, did you mention us on the radio tonight? Was
I did.
my dad just came in the studio. Here, swing
Yeah,
the
here.
mic around to him. So you went and did a radio interview tonight, right?
Yeah.
And what happened? Did you mention us?
Well, it was a real radio station,
Right. That's
unlike this crap.
right.
It was I heavily plugged you.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Wow.
Yes.
On real radio.
I plugged.
They
On a
must
show
have
with listeners.
they must have almost 1.5 times the listeners we do.
Actually, it's a very popular program.
Yeah, but nobody listens to the radio
Internationally.
anymore. I mean,
Well,
people might be listening online.
for-
I guess.
for
Our
Ja-
program
yeah.
is popular internationally. Big
It's a-
whoop.
We've got an
It's
international
a
audience.
niche. It's a niche market because it's jazz tropical is real popular in the Caribbean and in South America.
If you want headphones, those are working.
Okay.
And so people are tuning in to this mofo.
Yeah, there's a lot of. As a matter of fact, I got a text message from Kevin McKelvey saying, "Yeah, I'm on the interweb."
Who's that?
Kevin, the piano player from California, my buddy.
Yeah, well, I know, but we're on a show, so other people.
Oh yeah. Kevin. Yeah.
Remember?
You see, my showbiz instincts didn't quite catch up
So
with that.
you gave the Sunday Evening Overdose a plug.
I did
on the
I
real
did.
radio.
Yeah, I did.
Man,
And
see, once they come over here and hear this, they'll never go back. That's
and
the problem.
I plugged Robot Hilarious. I plugged. It was the focus of the interview was Crystall Recorders. So
Did you thank Hitler?
I did.
That's one of the mistakes a lot of people in show business make.
I never.
They thank Hitler at the end.
I know.
Shouldn't do that.
I never get around to that. It's been a.
No, that's good. It's a bad habit that a lot of
Yeah.
people get into.
Who are these people?
That's actually I'm such an asshole. No, that's a fucking Kids in the Hall bit. It's a guy that Dave Foley dressed as a woman, actress at the Oscars, thanks Hitler at the end, and his agent gets real freaked out. You thanked Hitler? No, I didn't.
No, I didn't.
Anyways, what else is going on at the real radio station that's not going on
man,
here? They
you
don't
should
have
see
shit going on compared to here.
The automation is amazing.
What does that even mean?
Yeah,
Robots.
Yeah.
See, we do
think they're
real
so
radio. We don't need automated radio. Now, I assume that means
No.
Yeah.
We are
It just
true
means
blue
go in-
Americans.
It just means like on the console when you touch a certain input and activate it, that the device starts playing like a CD,
So everybody,
or
we're
a
talking.
computer, or
We're
Are
talking.
you guys are you guys done for the night or what?
No, we're. This is still a show. This is still a show.
Is that Steve guy?
No, this is Alex Callahan from Downers Grove.
Oh, get the hell off of here, Alan.
Yeah,
Hey,
Alan.
get the hell out of here, then Smicko.
Well, so
You're up past your bedtime, young man.
so people are saying out there that a lot of our listeners are saying this other station is like maybe a tenth as good as us in production quality and content. I don't know. That's what's coming in on the live stream. Can you speak to that at all, or?
I can't speak to the other radio station because I don't know what radio station that is.
Talking to you, you idiot.
Thank you, Alan.
Yeah, this show is ruined. All right, so did I already say this? Did I remind people we're talking to my dad who gave us plugs on the real radio today and then wandered into the studio and brought a dog?
Yeah. I'd like to really what I'd like to mention now that you're so gracious in having me here with your two viewers or listeners. I went to the Chicago Theater Friday night and saw Trailer Park Boys, which was fantastic. Just a great live performance, and thanks to the fact checker here, I had third row seats
to the Trailer Park Boys live show?
Yep.
And what the fuck?
Really?
It was.
Did you get to meet? Did you get to meet any of them?
No, I didn't. So that
The
that
end.
delegitimizes me. But no, I didn't get to meet any of them. But I was right there looking up their nostrils, and
That's awesome.
it was fantastic. And I got to see Jim Leahy drunk as fuck laying on the stage. You know, it was just wonderful. The whole thing was just fantastic.
Well,
Was
I
the
want to
whole-
give a.
was Randy there too? Was the whole gang?
Yeah, Randy, that 12 cheeseburger eating mofo.
So I don't know. I don't know if our listeners watch Trailer Park Boys. I do, but
If your listeners don't watch Trailer Park Boys, then
They're not really listeners.
yeah, they're not listening.
they better check it out. All right. Well, I want to give the Earthling back his microphone.
Yes.
Why don't you hang out though?
Earthling.
You don't
Why
want to
can't
hang
you
out?
turn this fucking mic on?
We could turn that on, but
Turn
we
it
gotta
on.
stop the.
No, I don't have anything more.
I got some.
All
right, well, he's
questions for the
leaving.
Earthling.
Well, before
All
you
right.
came in, we were talking about a guy who got in a van, tied a rope to a fire hydrant, and then to his neck, and drove away and
drove
ripped
away.
his head off.
Pulled his head off.
Yeah, but
So you know.
why?
Wait,
are you
hold on.
really
Dad
that- are
raised
you
his
really
drink to
interested?
that. Yes.
Yeah, I wondered why he did that.
No, we don't know. We think it's because he didn't have a code for his video game.
Let the
Yeah.
listeners in on the. My dad lives next door, and oftentimes comes over to visit the show, and we never put him on mic, but we should more often. Should we?
But did he do that just to get high?
It was the Codbo.
He got high, all right.
It's like the cat piss thing from South Park. Just like, yeah, you know what? We'll turn this mic on. It shouldn't interrupt the live stream. Trix, you talk for a second.
I have a
Yeah.
question for the crew.
Sure.
Do you guys have any other major talking points, or are you just going to talk about people ripping their heads off?
What do you got to talk about?
We have a couple more things. Not much. Why? What do you want?
I'd just like to know.
All right, everybody, shut up for 1 second.
All right.
All right.
Okay, we're back.
Thanks for
Check
shutting
it.
up for me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Most shows, like, just give me like a quick preview of what are we going to be talking about.
What are we going to be talking about, fact checker?
See, this guy. Here's one of our biggest problems: is people call our show that haven't been listening to it, and they're drunker than us, and that's like the worst thing that can happen. I got a couple other things. Andrea brought a couple things to the show. What's this briefcase thing you want to talk about?
Some guy found a briefcase in a dumpster, just like by the dumpster of his apartment, and he busted it open and had a bunch of crazy ass shit in it.
Like what?
Like
Papers. It was full of papers, and they have various bizarre writings, incredibly detailed drawings and instructions on how to make like crazy, complicated inventions, a bunch of stuff like that. And then,
It belonged to Rube Goldberg.
and then you keep it.
Your mic is on.
Oh. Yeah, that was Rube Goldberg's briefcase.
No, wait, it gets weirder. Okay, so then there's a series of a ton of world maps, hand-drawn world maps, all from different orientations and like sectioned in different ways. Some from like the North Pole, some from the side, some that are like sectioned
throw
into
that
flower
away?
shapes. I don't know.
I would never
I have
throw
no
that
idea.
away.
And then there's a bunch of
It's
really
and it also
super-
just the case itself is like an antique, like handcrafted.
Yeah.
Is probably worth a lot, you know.
And then there's a bunch of real detailed drawings of what appear to be an alien invasion of some sort.
Yeah, and there's all kinds of weird like technological diagrams and shit.
Illegal
I'd
aliens?
draw
Or?
Yeah.
So where did the guy find this?
He says he just found it near a dumpster.
Headphones? Oh, yeah, I am.
You gotta talk into the microphone.
My dad, everybody.
Out of touch.
This shit looks fucking crazy. This is all from. Look at this.
He hasn't been around technology lately.
That shit all looks really fucking wacky, man.
I mean, this is almost like looking at like Da Vinci's journals or something. The way that he looks like he definitely took that style. Like,
Yeah.
Da
And so
Vinci, Da Vinci invented the whoopee cushion.
All right, Jesus Christ. Hang on.
is that true?
What is this?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
What?
Wait, is it really?
For your purposes, yes.
And he invented it while on a helicopter.
Yeah.
And he invented it as a joke to play on a helicopter pilot. He was so far ahead of his time.
Yeah.
You're making
The
okay.
So this mysterious box, where did they find it? First of all, let's get the facts on this.
It's next to a dumpster, right, or something?
Where though?
Yeah, it doesn't say. There's not a
Is
lot
this
of
a real
information about it
story?
yet. Yeah, absolutely.
Who covered it?
I don't know. I have a couple links here.
I mean, these pictures are all pretty compelling. Just from my cursory glances as a scientist, I think this is all pretty compelling science.
Why would
here.
this guy run to
Yeah.
the news? Why didn't he just keep it and look over it for months and months and months and
Well, he
months?
didn't run
'Cause
to
he's
the
a
news.
cunt.
He took pictures of it and put it up on Reddit and implored his Reddit community to help him figure out what it was.
Good way to keep a secret.
Yeah, well, he didn't want to keep it a secret. Why would you? I wouldn't keep this a secret. It's awesome.
I wouldn't either,
creepy.
but I would be if I found something that I thought was really important like this. I would probably do it anonymously.
Dude,
did he do
no.
it? Did he
You guys
identify
are all
himself?
wrong.
Or?
Well, he has his Reddit username.
we lost our
is-
caller.
If I found that, I would study it. I'd write a book. I'd start a fucking
Right.
religion
And you'd
based on it.
yeah.
I'd fool people into giving me their deeds.
Right. This is very important information. I need to not share this with anybody.
Yeah, that Mormon guy found a fucking pebble, and then look at what happened with him.
What?
I don't know. He got a lot of people to give him all their money.
Joseph Smith?
Yeah, sure.
No, he found tablets. They
Yeah,
were.
Yeah.
gold tablets.
Yeah.
Where are they?
Utica, New York.
No, you don't need to see them, dude.
No, the Angel Moroni took
Yeah.
this
don't
angel.
you know anything?
Moroni was from Canada,
Also, his gold tablets got stolen.
taken by the angel.
Paying by the. Oh, okay. All right. Well, this,
Wait, or do you mean the Anglos? Because
No,
they were
no,
taking
you know
they were
what?
taking a lot of stuff back then. You
But
gotta admit.
yeah, they were. But the Mormon religion is really one of my favorite
Oh yeah, it's tremendous.
conspiracy topics.
Are we
lost the
done with the
tablets.
briefcase full of all the alien shit already?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
Well,
I'm going to
the
put
guy-
the link up on the page for people to look
Yeah.
at, but
I
I don't.
mean-
I mean, I don't know what to make of it. I just thought it was.
It's a whole bunch of
Weird.
really like intricate stuff about geometry.
And it seems to cover such like a wide span. There's like
It's about UFOs. It's about geometry. It's about technology. It's about engines. It's about geography. It's
Yeah.
It's
I have to
all kinds
leave.
of shit.
My dog is being a jerk.
What is that? The dog barking outside?
Yeah.
Well, tell him to come in here, but not to run around everywhere.
Well,
Do you think- do you
I
think
could
he'll
tell
listen?
him that? Sure.
All right, just tell him to come in here, but just tell him not to run around. Just tell him he's well behaved. You can tell him to sit.
Oh, he's fantastic.
I used to live with a guy who the neighbor would come over there and say, "Keep your fucking dog out of my yard." And he would say to the neighbor, "You know what? I tell him all the time not to go over there."
Yeah.
And he just doesn't listen to me. And the neighbor was a dick, so he always called the police and shit. But it was really funny how he combated that.
Good boy.
Okay. Well, so you want to talk about the Mormons? Let's do the
I
Mormons. Let's do the Mormons. We've
All right.
never done the Mormons on this show. Let's do the Mormons.
Well-
And this is my dad. He doesn't stay up this late very
No.
often.
yeah, this is a real treat.
Yeah.
I don't know what
This
the
is
hell
his
I'm
second
doing.
radio show today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's one of the only people that knows how to project his voice. Look, his fader is down where Trix's is. He's got
Yeah.
some good
I
projection.
went. One time I was working in Kansas City, Missouri.
Uh-huh.
It was about 1974.
Oh, yeah?
I was working with that comedy show, which was fantastic.
What
Which-
comedy show?
The Sean and Casto show.
And were they modern style comedians that people would see
No,
now?
they were not.
No?
No, they were like vaudeville style, blackout sketches, and I mean, it was a pretty fantastic show. But the one guy, Casto, was doing genealogical research, and the Mormons had the market cornered back in the 70s for, before the interweb. They had the genealogical birth death records,
Of who?
people that were born and died.
Of everybody?
Yes.
Why would they provide the service to everybody?
Yeah, what do you
Why
mean
would
they had the market
of just the
cornered on
Mormons?
death records?
They were the guys keeping the records. They had the
Mormons?
most accurate, yeah.
Who would volunteer to do that? Why would they do that?
because they were
There was some insidious reason that they did it. I don't know what it is.
There's been a
but-
couple of like occult groups and actually a serial killer whose name I can't fucking remember that would track death records and there's some evidence that like they would find that when death rates would get really low there'd be great natural disasters to like compensate for them.
All right, well, anyway, that's not what I was going to tell you.
All right, well that's interesting.
So,
What I said was interesting.
yes, it
Yeah.
was. So this one day, this comedian says to me and my cousin Greg, who's also your cousin Greg, I'm going to Independence tomorrow to the Mormon Temple to do some genealogy research. So me and Greg got up in the morning and drank a bunch of coffee and brandy and, got
Totally.
ourselves prepared for the trip. Drove up to Independence.
Oh yeah.
Went to the Mormon Temple, and so Casto goes up to there were these two old cornflake women that looked like cornflakes.
And
They were so goddamn old.
He struts up there.
So he struts up there, and he says, "Yeah, I'm Bob Casto. I'm here to do this genealogical research." And they take him back into the library. But me and Greg are stuck there in this huge, it must have been 50-foot ceilings in this place. We're standing there in this enormous room with these two old, ancient women. They must have been in their 90s. And this one woman comes up and says, are you of the faith or whatever their thing was. And he said, no. And we're like in motorcycle jackets and boots and, and our eyes were all red we'd smoked these curly cigarettes that, made your eyes red. Anyway, so she says, well, would you like to see the living book? I'm like, yeah, who wouldn't? Of course I want to see the living book. I want to see what the hell that is. So she takes us across the room, and there was there was a book up against the wall. The pages were like 30 feet high, and they were on aluminum frames, and the first page is like a big picture of Joseph Smith. She said, well, this is the founder, of our church. And she turns the page. He was out surveying. I think he was a surveyor. He's out in Utica, New York. And, he's out in this field surveying. And he came across these gold tablets. And then she turns the page. And there's another Moroni, the angel from Canada, that explained the tablets to Joseph Smith, and she turns the page. Meanwhile, me and my cousin Greg are looking at each other like, this is a fucking joke. There's something, there's going to be a punchline here. Everybody's going to laugh, and, so we're like waiting this thing out, and then it turns out that it was just the weirdest goddamn story I'd ever heard, and it was illustrated by these 30-foot tall canvases of pages. And I said to the woman, so this is like what the church is based on? She says, yes. And I looked at her, and Greg grabbed me by the shoulder and said, yeah, let's go. So we went outside, and we're smoking a cigarette out in front. And I said, yeah, that's like the flimsiest goddamn thing I've ever heard. I know there's flimsy religions, but that's like criminal flimsy.
Do you know what year that guy found those?
It was like 1830s, I think.
1830s?
His first vision was in 1820. His first visit from the angel Moroni was 1823.
Oh, okay.
And that was the first time he viewed the gold plates.
Yeah.
But he didn't obtain the gold plates until 1827.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what I forgot to mention was that the founding of the Mormon Church was based on the attestations, they call them. And they were a bunch of people who signed these attestations that said, yes, this is what Joseph Smith told me.
Yeah, they're known as the 3 witnesses and the 8 witnesses.
Well,
Yeah. And one of them was a guy named Oliver Cowdery, who was a ancestor of Jeff Cowdery,
who was?
one of the guys here.
Oh, okay. Well, you know the Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, whatever the fuck?
Yeah.
When they
That's
do
the
the
Mormons.
advertisements, right?
Yeah.
I called them up because it says call us for a free Bible. They sent us a free Bible.
Oh, cool.
And it had, in the center of it, it had like 20 full-color pictures, drawings of Jesus in South America building the temples with the Mayans and all that shit.
Yeah.
Teaching them how to build stuff.
Of course.
So that was kind of cartoonish to me. It
They
was
were
fucking-
photographs, too, right?
Jesus building the pyramids?
He was teaching the Mayans how to build the their temples and shit, stuff like that. Yeah, dude, it's in there. It's in the call them up right now. They'll send you a fucking Bible in like 40 minutes.
I have friends that are Mormons that I try to, and I have relatives, too.
Don't they have
That
magic underwear?
Yes, they do.
And they keep it on, or they keep one arm out of the bathtub with the garment draped over their hand, or some people just wear them, something like that.
I don't know.
I'm not making this up.
I don't know that one.
Look up magic underwear.
Heard of their magic
Look
underwear.
look up the magic underwear. They got magic underwear, fucking ketchup, all sorts of shit.
So, what is like? How did so many people fall for a religion that like your great great grandfather could go like, no, that didn't really that didn't happen. You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
How
I mean,
did-
that's what's always bothered me. And then when I lived in Phoenix, Mesa, Arizona is a big Mormon settlement.
Is it?
Yeah. And I would read, there was stuff, you know, like you weren't allowed on the football team at Mesa High School if you weren't a Mormon.
Really?
Yeah, which I thought was, you know, kind of
That's wacky.
sketchy. But, I mean, you know, you want to play football, you're a kid, you know, you're dumb enough to be involved in that program, you know.
Football's a little bit of fun with your chums.
Oh, yeah, football's
After school.
fantastic.
Knock each other about.
Football is the number one sport that causes concussions.
More than
Yes.
boxing?
What about serial killing?
I don't think that's a sport. Well, to some it is.
Not to you. Not yet.
Not yet.
Ew.
But yeah, I mean, you know, football is a very insidious purveyor of mental illness.
You know, I never knew a football player that I really liked. I'm going to tell you that right now. Never was too into the old football
Well,
players.
you didn't know my Uncle Mike,
No, I certainly did not, sir.
but he was a fantastic guy.
Oh, yeah, was he?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he played back before the big separation between like
Before-
sports and society.
Right, yeah.
You know, before there
Before
was
they even had helmets.
well, and but he played back before it was like, you know, a jock was an asshole kind of
Right,
thing.
right,
you know,
right,
it was
right.
just
No,
a normal.
he had to be a regular guy.
He was a normal guy.
Yeah, he had to be.
Back then.
You know, he was in the first college all-star game in 1932 at Soldier Field. He was a 3-time All-American from Pitt. He was a Mike Sebastian. He accomplished a lot as a sportsman, and he was a fantastic human being.
What did he do that was so good?
He was a bouncer at my grandparents' nightclub.
Bouncers are dicks, and so are football players.
No, but he was a fantastic
So you're
bouncer.
saying he wasn't? So this guy was a pro football player and a bouncer, and he wasn't a dick?
He wasn't. I know, it's unbelievable.
You're going really against the odds here.
I know.
So
I
what's
know.
what's so good about this guy?
Well, the good thing was that my Aunt Rose and my Aunt Jen worked at the nightclub too, and they were bigger dicks than him. Like they would. My Aunt Jen told me a story about one time that she hit a guy in the face with a silver plate, and Aunt Rose kicked him in the balls.
Yeah, well,
And-
what did he do before that?
He was going after my Uncle Mike.
The football player.
Yeah.
See, at the center of the
Because there
controversy.
were people. People would drive to the Clover Club, which was the name of the nightclub, to get in a fight with my Uncle Mike. So they hired him as a bouncer, but he would like attract trouble.
And so he sounds kind of like a dick. I don't know.
No, he's not. He wasn't though. He was fantastic. The most dickish thing he ever did was.
But see, well, also one thing back then, when they were playing football was different back then. You see now guys that like run face to face. It wasn't
Yeah,
like that
no,
back
no,
then.
no,
it was
no.
it was
strategy.
body tackles and
It was
stuff.
strategy,
And it was
yeah.
who was big and could
Yeah.
You see the way that they slam into each other now is. I'm surprised nobody gets
now
fucking
it's
killed.
It's
like,
just Clash of the Titans.
right.
Yeah.
Like back then it was more like agility and fucking.
But one of the best things I ever saw with my Uncle Mike was when my niece, Mary Denise, was a kid. She was about 6 years old, and she was playing Chinese checkers in the living room with my Uncle Mike. And all my aunts were in the kitchen, and Mary Denise came running in the kitchen, yelling about, I can't win a game, you know. So, well, what's going on? Well, I'm playing Uncle Mike, and I just can't win, and so they all came out in the living room. By then, I was sitting next to Uncle Mike on the couch, and they all started saying, "Mike, you son of a bitch! You know, she's a little girl, blah blah blah," and when everything calmed down, Uncle Mike didn't say a word. He was just sitting there with his arms folded. And then when it all calmed down and they went back in the kitchen, Uncle Mike turned to me and said, "There isn't a 6-year-old on earth that could beat me at Chinese checkers." He was really pretty fantastic.
That's funny.
And he had a roulette wheel. He was like a real gambler, you know. He loved gambling.
When I was a kid, I'm sorry.
No,
playing
go ahead,
games
go ahead.
and shit, there was always like 1 or 2 kids that would get so pissed when they lost they wouldn't
Yeah.
want to play again.
Like Max Zurich.
Really? Yeah, and it's like, well, you know, the point of the game, there's 4 people, 1 person can win. You knew your odds, you motherfucker. Like, you thought you were gonna win, and somehow that makes it awesome. I mean, I don't know. I didn't play many games because of that reason. I never gave a shit. I used to cheat at Monopoly and stuff
What
too.
mic is that?
I don't know.
It's a blue dragonfly.
It's a dragonfly.
Oh, okay.
It's a nice
Old
mic.
That thing
round.
sounds really good.
It's
Really?
good for his voice.
Plus,
Yeah,
I have a
sure
great voice
is.
as well. Right up, you know.
No, your voice sucks,
Oh,
and you're, you know,
Ah.
And your mic technique is awful.
it's like
No.
the output of your intellectual capacity, you know.
It's directly
It's-
reflective.
It's
Joking with you. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Jesus Christ. No, it sounds
Holy
good.
Christ.
It is a good mic for you.
cool.
So, what else about Uncle Mike? You want to tell some more stories over this
Yeah.
smooth music bed?
One time, me and Greg were at my mother's house, which is Aunt Pandy's house.
You're not. See, this is. Here's the problem with having your dad on your radio show.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
He thinks he's just talking just to you.
Yeah.
So you got to go. Hey,
all right.
my
So
cousin-
we're at my mother's house,
all right.
and me and Greg, it was a real hot summer day, and we decided we were going to go outside and play a little catch, you know, throw the horse hide around, you know. So we get our mitts out, and we're outside like really heaving it. We were kids. We were like 22, 23 years old, 24, 25, something like that. And we're throwing the ball hard. So Uncle Mike comes out, and he's old. He was like in his 70s. He says, "Can I play?" Well, do what you want, Uncle Mike. And he goes in his trunk and he gets out this goddamn baseball mitt that looked like a flat. I don't know what the hell it looked like. It was horrible. So he goes and gets this thing. So we're throwing it to him real easy, and he's throwing it back real hard. And he was a left-hander, so he threw the ball real hard. And we're playing catch with him for a while. And one of my aunts came out and starts yelling, "Okay, time to eat." So we all go inside, and we're sitting at the table, and me and Greg were like drenched in sweat, like just horribly. And Greg pokes me and says, "Look at Uncle Mike." And we look over, and the guy, he's completely dry, not sweating in the least, not breathing hard. Me and Greg are panting. Uncle Mike was fantastic.
Sounds like a real athlete. An old style.
He was,
athlete.
and an old guy. I mean, hey, he played football. He was in the, he was in the first college All-Star game. 3-time All-American running back. I mean, this guy was really something. He accomplished a lot he came from a real meager, I think he was from Beaver County.
Did he ever get arrested?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he would have got arrested, what would he have got arrested for?
There was another great story about him. He was in a softball game one time, and he got in some kind of altercation.
A little bit of a.
And his father,
bit of a scuffle.
His father came out with a knife and held everybody at bay so Uncle Mike could run away.
Yeah, a little bit of knife threat.
Yeah. Oh, they were not. These were Pennsylvania hillbillies.
Yeah, no qualms about stabbing a fool.
Oh no. Like Faye would say, when I asked Alfredo, you went to jail for attempted murder.
Have a sip.
I said, what did you do to get charged with that? He said, I tried to kill a guy.
Can you give me a drink?
Yeah, we're out of booze. Can you give my co-host?
I haven't drank a drop tonight, actually.
Yeah.
Well, you got a drink in your hand.
I just gave him some of mine. That's my drink.
I haven't
He's
had
giving me a
any
drink. He's giving me a drink because he realizes I'm like completely silent.
Well, so you came here with nothing to drink. And
Yeah.
now, what do you want from me?
I don't know.
alcohol.
Yeah.
Hey, give us some alcohol. We know you got some.
Here.
Well, I mean, if you have some more,
Let him have some of that.
I don't know.
Throw it in his face.
Yeah.
Come on. It'll be good radio.
Open wide.
I have to work here.
Throw a drink in his face.
if you don't give me my alcohol, I'm gonna rip my head off with a rope.
Yeah.
The way home.
I heard you get high that way.
That's how the kids are getting
You're gonna
high.
love it.
Now it's a weird, wild world.
It makes your
out
head feel really funny.
I'll bet it does. I bet it makes it bounce weird.
It is a wacky, wild
How would
world
that
out
feel,
there,
man?
cats and kittens, and we are grooving to the sounds of my father's stories about my great uncle.
Yeah. Do you have anything? Do we
Yeah,
have
we
anything?
just don't go anywhere.
Do we have anything else? Are we fucking completely tapped on like
Hey,
stories?
we are flying high and riding wild.
You wanna talk about-
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
There's an obelisk in the ocean directly opposite of the pyramids.
Yeah, it's the only thing we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
What is it?
I don't know. An obelisk they found in the ocean. A big ass fucking. You know what? I think that's the only word that they're called.
You got it.
Yeah. He's done.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks for telling us some stories.
Bye.
Dex.
He's behind you.
He's right behind you.
He listens better
But
than
you
I
probably,
talk.
if you would have yelled louder, he would have heard.
Yeah.
Well, see you later, pops.
All right. Well, thank you for having me.
Hey, and again, We'd love to have you back sometime. Just give us a little goodbye here. Give us a little smooth outro to your whole.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm really happy to have been here and made an appearance. I love all you listeners out there.
Oh, you crazy
in my own
overdosers.
special creepy way.
Okay, thanks, Dad. See you later.
All right.
He meant that like individually too. Like everybody listening, he loves in like an individually creepy way. That's the worst part about that.
So you plugged us on some show? Are they on like could you listen to it with an antenna?
What station were they on? He said it, but I don't know what it was. WDC something shit. I don't know.
It's
Some jazz shit.
91.5 around here.
Oh, it is 91.5. The fucking college. And is that an NPR shit too?
No. Maybe it's 90.9.
I don't know.
They're around here. We
I'll
don't know.
guarantee
Maybe we
you
should have found out.
The people that listen to that radio station are
do
like,
not want to listen to our radio show.
that's gonna be hilarious. There might be a couple of people that were like really horrendously offended tonight. All right, what do we got left? Just one thing.